Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now. And head over there. Just search for @TomandDan Live. Like and subscribe. We'd love you for doing it.
We are a quarter century into this.
Yeah, we're here.
Millennia?
Yeah. Well said. Perfectly said. Yeah. Quarter century into the millennium.
That's completely right.
We are a quarter century into the millennium. What say you, Ross?
I don't know why.
Hey, everybody. What's Ross doing here? What's up, Ross?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Ross McCoy from the Orlando Talk Show with Ross McCoy.
From a very technical and pedantic sense, we're not even really 25 years into the millennium yet.
No.
D-RUGG's on the line.
Yeah, on the line with us right now. We haven't talked to this guy in forever, but I've been wanting to talk to him because Snoop Dogg has a brand new album out. It is the follow-up to Doggy Style. Missionary on the line with us is the Mohawk Don, D-RUGG. What's going on, man?
What's going on, folks? How y'all doing?
Good, man. We haven't talked to you in a minute. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
D-RUGG, what's up? I love you, dude, but I don't love you enough to let it slip that Tom thinks is 2250 right now, you guys. 2250 is the year Tom thinks we're in. Just have to hammer it home.
D-RUGG knows that Tom wants to appear smart to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
So
You think I'm trying to do that?
That's what I wanted.
So you
Happy New Year, everybody. Is that the first one of the year?
It is the first one.
Oh,
That
Happy
is the-
New
that's
Year.
the
That's
first
good
one.
luck, everybody.
All right. D-RUGG, what's been going on, man? How are you?
Man, I've been cooling, man. How y'all been doing?
Good, man. Good. What are you up to right now?
Honestly, not that good. It's, the problem is, D-RUGG, I didn't realize as you get older and you get into your 40s, things start to decline rapidly.
D-RUGG, you got anything declining right now in your life? How old are you, D-RUGG?
I'm 44.
Oh, okay. A little older than Tom.
By maybe a year and a half.
Yeah. Do you feel old at all, D-RUGG?
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you had to dabble in the chews?
Yeah.
The,
I don't know if you know.
We've been buying dick pills for the last 5 years.
That's what I say.
That's all he knows.
And you can use the code TNJ at checkout for some money off, courtesy of the News Junkie.
So, D-RUGG, let's talk about Snoop Dogg's new album. And
It's called Missionary.
Missionary, okay.
Hold on, I want to know where he gets these dick pills. Like what kind? Is it cheap or chews or pills?
I get the honey packs.
The honey patch. See, I don't know either. That's why you asked D-RUGG these questions.
Okay.
What's the honey patch, D-RUGG?
The honey packs, they gold. I don't think they got a name on them bitches. They just gold and they got like a B on there. You get them from the gas station.
Oh, stingers. Yeah. Hold on. I use those.
Oh, are they the same chemical that's in the Hims and the Blue Chews and the Viagra?
It's the same shit. Yeah, it's the same shit.
Okay, we can't curse,
Put it
D-RUGG.
in honey.
It is the radio. You have our beat machine is catching up, so please give us just a little bit of time.
All right, I'm just going to be transparent.
Yes.
We lost all of our employees, and me and Daniel are barely keeping it.
We can't. I got nothing left. I don't know where the files are. I lost a file. I never lost file. We lost the files. The History Center came in. We weren't prepared. Ross came in. Then Ross wanted to do something fun, but I knew I'd lost the file. So I was like, I can't do anything fun until I find the file, Ross. And Ross knows that look in my eyes. And I know Ross was like, what the hell's wrong with him? What happened? Did he get some bad news from his wife? And I'm like, no. I lost the files, and I never lose the files. And I'm sweating. I start freaking out. Then I realized that we were supposed to call D-RUGG at 1, and he was 25 minutes late. And I had already told D-RUGG yesterday we'd call him, but we blanked on him entirely. So then I texted him. I said, I'm sorry, D-RUGG. Please forgive me.
Oh, it's all good. I ain't tripping, man.
They're talking out of a Taco Bell. So then we're like, you know what? You know what would be a good idea? Let's get D-RUGG and put him on the radio. He won't curse. Talking about Snoop Dogg. Sorry, D-RUGG. Technically this is aired on. I hope this is the first show of the year gets us kicked off the radio. Because for sure we're too overworked to try to find all the damn curse words.
So let's rewind just a touch. So D-RUGG,
Now that you guys have lost your absolute minds on the air, let's just rewind just a bit.
Let's rewind just a touch. And look, what would you say, the Missionary, Snoop Dogg's new album, let's start there. What do you give it? What do you say?
Definitely give it 3 reefer bags. I was not impressed. Ooh. It was kind of a letdown, but it's not garbage.
Yeah.
But it's also not good.
I agree with everything you're saying. I also would give it 3 reefer bags. I found that it didn't have, and there's something you said in a review, and I'm just going to say the word because I agree with you entirely, G-Funk.
Yeah, it ain't got no G-Funk on there, man.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It's real commercial.
Now, imagine that you're talking to a nerdy white guy and explain to me what G-Funk means.
G-Funk is basically 90s West Coast hip-hop, sampled a lot Parliament, George Clinton, funkadelic type music.
Yeah.
So if you don't know about George Clinton, Parliament, things of that nature, it's missing that. That's what G-Funk was based off of, and that's what made everybody love Doggy Style and The Chronic was the G-Funk. And that album has no G-Funk on it. Well, it has a little bit towards the end, but not enough for me to want to replay that album.
Yeah, as soon as you told me that, as soon as I heard the phrase G-Funk, I was like, oh, okay, yes. All of the things that I grew to love, like whether it be Doggy Style, The Chronic, what was Warren G's album?
Regulate.
Regulate.
Yep, that.
G-Funk era.
That's all G-Funk, classic, like run-of-the-mill, like straight up and down G-Funk. And then when you listen to Missionary, although I will say some of the songs are good, they don't bounce the same way. They're not as much fun. And I thought you nailed it. It's too commercial. It's like they wrote the 2 hits that are the 2 singles are the 2 good songs.
Hey, as a guy who just wants those 2 hits, what are they?
Oh, the 2?
What are the good ones on
I'd
there?
have to look them up.
The one with Sting should do pretty good.
Really?
The one with Sting isn't bad. Yeah, I want to say that one's not bad. But the one that I like the most, I'm going to have to go in here and
Didn't you say Jelly Rolls on this?
He is, but I don't.
The one with Jelly Roll, that's another big one, but
it's going to be big.
That's
but
a song.
It's
I don't connect with that song, like.
Yeah, it's Last Dance of Mary Jane. So why would you?
Really?
It's like not smoking weed ever again. Yeah, you're not going to do that, D-Rug. And it's
not at all.
That one, I liked Foreplay. I liked Foreplay, and then I liked Thank You, and Shangri-La was.
Thank You was good.
Thank You was good. Shangri-La was good, but it's just not. D-Rug nailed it. It doesn't have that same bounce.
Play one for me. Let me hear it.
Well, I don't know if I can play much of these.
No, actually, Clippy popped in. He said the beat machine's reset, so we're good to
go. Here, I'll just
do something extra work for yourself.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. Shangri-La. Shangri-La. La 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 la. Get hot.
Oh, okay,
there we go. That was it. The beat machine flag. Yep.
This is going to be the longest day of my life. But yeah, all right. All right, hold on. Let me pause that, and then I got to put. Okay.
So now, is Snoop Dogg? Can you tell his age at all when he's rapping, or does he sound the same as young Snoop Dogg?
What do you think?
No, actually, Snoop is not the problem on the album. Snoop is good. He's sounding younger than ever. He's sharp. I don't know who writing it for him, but whoever wrote him for him, kudos. But it's Dre. I don't like the beats.
Yeah.
Dre didn't come through, man.
I kind of agree. I expected a lot more, and I think that's kind of why they slid it out there is like, you would imagine the follow-up to Doggy Style would, and even the funny name, Missionary, okay, boom, I get it. Yeah, perfect. You would have thought it would have been, like, heralded. It wasn't. And they kind of slid it out there. They're like, here it is, And whenever they do that, it makes me think that it's probably not very good.
And knowing D-Rug and things that we both like in common, D-Rug, on this album, any good interstitials?
I ain't gonna even lie to you. I listened to the album Friday and Saturday, and I ain't played the album again, bro.
Okay.
Right.
And this is just like I was disappointed. I waited 30 years for that.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I wanted to talk to you because I know how much of a Snoop fan you are. Now, in the same regard, did you listen to Kendrick's new secret album that you dropped?
Oh yeah. Kendrick's in rotation right now.
Yeah. So he's doing. So you like Kendrick? He's doing fine.
Yeah, I love Kendrick's album.
Yeah, it's good. It's front to back. It's really good.
Now, Ross, the interstitials.
Yeah.
That is the little bits in
Correct.
between the songs.
Yeah.
He was saying that so you wouldn't know. He and D-RUGG have their own secret language. It's called the English language.
You guys did one on. I don't think I can say it, but D-RUGG's album.
Magnificent A-hole.
Yeah, that album.
Yeah, we did one.
I have no recollection of that.
And I always like him. And the other day I was introducing my kid to some Public Enemy songs that I liked. And Public Enemy always has real good interstitials. D-RUGG, tell me if you remember this one. I forget what song it was, but I played the song for my kid, and then the interstitial starts to play because it's like a tag at the end of the song. And on Fear of a Black Planet or something, one of the interstitials is a white guy comes on, and his name is Bernie Crosshouse from the KKK, and he proceeds to use the N word like 85 times in this interstitial, and it's Public Enemy, so it's like a searing political satire, like reverso, but it is a white guy at the end of the day just saying the N word a bunch of times. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you're like Tom, skits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Call them mini skits, please. Interstitials.
Sketches.
Little mini bits between the songs.
D-RUGG, what else has been going on, man? You got big holiday plans, or obviously this is after the holiday. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, man. Christmas is good every year, man. Get to chill with the jits, you know what I'm saying, and make sure everybody get to see everybody, things of that nature.
Tom liked your improving. He said we're pretending that it's after Christmas.
I love it.
And then Tom spit out his drink and had to run to the bathroom.
He did. He held it to the sink though. To his credit.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, D-RUGG's a better improvisational comedian than you are. This guy's got the goods. He's like, glad you asked, Dan. And he had a whole skit ready to go.
He basically had a list of Christmas presents.
How impressed are you at that? Though, honestly,
it was great.
D-RUGG, that just shows you that you do have that stage presence.
Didn't even blink. Yeah, it was amazing.
Didn't even blink.
And speaking of which, since we got him on the line, and I know he's at, you had him for a music review, Dan. Let me have him for a second for a comedy review.
We're wasting his time, so it's always good to talk to D-RUGG, man.
And Darius, at half a month ago at this point, I went down to Tampa and I saw Martin Lawrence perform live.
Okay.
Do you know his stand-up at all?
Oh, Martin, hell yeah, man. You So Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm a big Martin fan.
Excellent. I knew him mainly from the TV show. We're leaving Tom out again. I feel like it's interstitials all over again. You know Martin Lawrence from the TV show Martin?
He did some skits.
Yeah.
And and just to let you guys know, and listeners probably do know, he is relevant in today's day and age because Martin and Gina is a meme. A rapper made a rap song about, D-RUGG can probably tell us more, about a Martin and Gina relationship, and it's a meme now, Tom.
Okay, all right.
Do you know that song, D?
Yeah, I think Big Sean did one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else did one? NL Chopper. There's a couple people did them Gina Martin songs.
So yeah, thanks to Power Spot Craig's gambling addiction, we went down to the Hard Rock in Tampa, and he got some Martin Lawrence tickets, and we caught the show. Openers were both really good. Both Miami comics. I only remember Benji Brown, he was really good.
Oh, we've had him in here.
Shout
He's
out
nice.
to Benji Brown.
Yeah, he's good.
He was very, very good.
Funny dude.
That night. The other opener was also very good, but I can't remember her name. We maybe came in 5 minutes late or something, and I missed her introduction. But she was also very good. And then Martin Lawrence came out, and they did this thing, which was kind of interesting. They the two openers, Benji closed, and then they lowered a screen, and they showed 10 minutes of the best of Martin Lawrence.
Oh, I like that. That's what I would do.
This is what you're not going to see.
Show them when I was good.
Put up the video of Skinny Daniel.
And yeah, so they
play all the clips when we were funny before the show.
They did.
We do that.
They did him one better. They played all the clips of him being hilarious, and a couple where he's just obviously ripped and jacked.
Okay, all right.
Right.
One, I don't know if it was a special or a TV thing or something. He came out in red underpants, right, for something. And
Def Comedy Jam.
People are going nuts, and then the bit is he goes, "Boy, I'm all hot and sweaty from the attention," and he reaches into his underpants and pulls out a towel and mops his face off. And
yeah, that's a classic moment, man. We grew up on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
Room blew up, and a lot of it was Def Comedy Jam stuff, and him calling on people in the audience. He brings a lady up on stage from Def Comedy Jam, guy in the audience roasting his glasses, stuff like that, right? And then Martin Lawrence comes out, and man, boy, I love the TV show Martin. Did I mention that?
Yeah,
so good, Shanae, great show.
Bad? Was it bad?
He comes out, his first two things, I think it was in this order, but I could be wrong. I think his first thing was he goes, hey guys, Trump got elected again. Everybody goes, ooh. And he goes, I don't want to go back to picking cotton. And everybody's like, ah. And at that point, I'm like.
That's a good point, though.
So, like.
I mean, like, who would, right? I mean, I'm waiting for the punchline.
In my limited experience as a comedian, like seeing a guy on that level, he starts that way. I'm thinking, cool. He's opening with his Trump material. Let's get into it. Let's see what's up. That was it.
All right.
That and this continued.
And you were
in
dressed
that,
like Ben Franklin.
And then he did have a little bit of like he was like maybe he had some cotton mouth or something. I'll give him like maybe it was some cotton mouth. He
Phrasing.
and like you know, he uses the whole stage. He walks back and forth a lot, and he seemed like he had a little bit of a limp. And so he's walking back and forth with a little bit of a limp, and he's not talking exactly correctly. And his next bit, I think, was, people say it sounds like I've had a stroke. Does this look like a guy who's had a stroke? And like,
but he looked like a guy that had a stroke.
Me and my wife both looked at each other and kind of nodded, like, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like he turned to you. Do I look like someone who has a stroke?
Exactly like
gotcha.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like,
and it sounded exactly like a person who'd had a stroke.
Correct.
Right.
Like you and Jamie Foxx had a stroke. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's destroying. Audience loves him. He can't do anything wrong. But like from my perspective, he kept going into setups, and he would do like what I considered like a really good premise.
Yeah.
And then he would stop and turn and walk the other way and do something else. It was like, it wasn't like I said, he went from Trump to does it look like I have a stroke? Like nothing was threaded or connected or anything.
Yeah.
The only two bits that I recognized kind of were because of a interview I heard a couple years ago with Natasha Leggero. I'm 99% sure it was Natasha Leggero. It was a lady comic out of LA, if nothing else. And she talked about having to follow Martin Lawrence at like the Comedy Store or something one day.
Yeah.
And they were doing shotgun style hosting where like the comic brings up the next comic at the end of their set. And so she followed Martin Lawrence. He couldn't say her name right, and then basically said, "Oh, whatever, this lady," in like very rude way.
Right.
And then she also said that he did these two bits about. I'm trying to think of how I can put it medically for the air about ladies with like medically under lubricated vaginas.
Okay.
And also perhaps
We have to take that out.
and also
That's fine.
Yeah. Let's make it longer.
Work them to death.
I thought if like clinical and medical terms you could say, right? And then also stinky ones. And also ones that stink, all right?
Fish.
And so he
It's
did
called fish.
he did
I'll
those
just replace that with fish.
he did those two bits, and when he started to do those, I was like, "Oh, it's those bits from the interview I heard."
Yeah.
It was fun for me.
Well, no, also,
So-
like going along with the Jamie Foxx thing, you know that he had his stroke, that he did his Netflix thing.
Yeah.
And then just, 2 days ago, he got in a fight with the guys from Dick House Productions at MTV Jackass.
He threw a
because
glass at somebody
they
or something,
threw
right?
a stuntman from Dick House threw a glass at him and hit him in the face because they were like all, I guess, showing their butts and taking their penises out at a party, and he was having a party celebrating like his Netflix thing, and his kids were there, and he's like, "Hey guys, could you guys like calm down with the whole like show and like doing the Jackass stuff?" And then I guess the stuntman was like, "No," and threw a glass and hit him in the head.
I think it hit him in the mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, I'm sorry. I almost sent you this article, but by the time I saw it, I thought 100 people already probably had.
Yeah, I thought I thought this
For sure.
ship had sailed, or I'd already brought it up. But yeah, Jamie Foxx, is hurt again.
Well, I'm not saying this is what Martin Lawrence did, but I'm saying if I was Martin Lawrence, first I'd spend all my money, and then I'd be forced to do stand-up and tour around and just use my name to sell out, big.
And you'd have your friend Dan make a video of the best 10 minutes of Drunky the Bear.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
you'd be there too, Ross, helping me pick the clip.
And then instead of working my bit out at a bunch of clubs and, like Chappelle would do and just show up, and then instead of doing that, because that's too much work, I would just loosely put it together and then rely on just my movie star name to sell tickets and don't care the quality. That's what I would do. I don't know if that's what he did.
Yeah, I'd probably do that too.
He also he brought up the characters from Martin. He's like, "Y'all like that character?" Like for example, my favorite Shanae. He goes, "Y'all like Shanae?" And he did one line of Shanae. You could have done
that.
You could have done like 15 minutes of shenanigans. I would have been so happy.
Yeah, that's how you all like 1 minute of comedy.
Hilarious.
Number one. I just skipped at one, and then I give him number one, and then I go on the next thing.
Hey, D-RUGG, we love you, buddy. We hope you have a good Christmas and everything, man. And I'm sorry about Snoop's album. I hope we get a better one this year.
I know, man. We praying for it.
All right,
We're
buddy.
praying to Jesus for it.
Well, hey, if you ever get free, pop by here, man. We'd love to see you, okay?
Yeah, bring some of them golden singers
Man,
with you.
just give me a date. I'm there, man.
You got it,
All right.
man. We'll talk to you.
All right.
All right, buddy. Be good. That is our buddy, D-RUGG.
It seems, Ross, you've been doing stand-up for a long time. And
watching
does seem
it.
that way.
And watching it, I feel like. And, like, hosting around it. So
And
you see a lot of weird stuff.
it is completely evident when someone doesn't put in the work into a special or an act or
a
whatever.
podcast.
Like
Yeah.
you can't really hide it. You know, you can't
Yeah.
just not put in the work and then it'd be as good of quality as someone who did put in the work.
For people who know, yeah. But again, like the audience at the Hard Rock Tampa had no problem with any of it. They liked him. They were fine with what I saw is just setups. They were
Was
like,
it
great.
uncomfortable in a weird way because
No.
you knew who he was and you expected more, though? Because it would make me uncomfortable.
I kind of like I was kind of because he brings up a couple times that he's like 60-ish, and I was kind of like, for a 60-year-old guy,
Yeah.
great. He's got some setups. He a couple bits from the past. He a couple moments where he was like, there's one real touching moment where he like acknowledged like, y'all been coming to see me for more than 40 years or whatever, and everybody like clapped. So like, he gave everybody what they wanted. I can't argue with that.
And he went crazy, right?
You can't argue with that.
Did we ever get to the bottom of him going crazy?
We've talked about it, and obviously he got nude and he started running the streets, and
He did a little bit of that, but everybody-
Did he talk about that at all?
No, that didn't come. I had no idea.
I feel like that's what people want to see a little bit,
that was in
right?
the late 90s, right?
96, yeah. He was hospitalized after acting erratically in public while carrying a gun. Reports indicated he was shouting at cars and behaving unusually on Ventura Boulevard. He was later treated for exhaustion and dehydration. And then in 99, only 3 years later, while jogging in extreme heat and wearing heavy clothing, likely to lose weight for a role, he collapsed and slipped into a coma for 3 days. Wow. His body had reached a temperature of 107 degrees.
Wow.
I don't remember that one.
So he was trying to sweat it out, and he gave himself a
Getting ready
heat
for one of
stroke.
those bad boys roles,
He talks a little bit about how he was a boxer, so he probably tried to do some boxer stuff that he wasn't like as cardiologically prepared for as he used to be.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll compare him to Tracy Morgan for a second
I'll
because
compare thee to a summer's day.
because when I saw Tracy Morgan at Funny Bone now,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
used to be improv.
I was there.
And when me and Daniel saw Morgan, I went into it
Morgan Wallen, because we saw him
Yeah.
too.
thinking
When last night?
all right, this guy, we all know how much money he got from the Walmart lawsuit. And so he's got unlimited money. So, and we were...
I heard he's allowed to shoplift at Walmart too.
Probably, yeah.
We were like skeptical about why he was doing another stand-up tour with unlimited money. And then we came to the conclusion that
I couldn't figure out an origin of why he would want to do it.
he must really just love stand-up for him to do this. And like, especially when probably Tracy Morgan could sell out the Hard Rock, but he's doing smaller clubs, like doing it the right way.
Could probably sell at the Kia Center.
Yeah, at this point. And so
I think you're right. I think with the name and just there's a likability factor that he has that a lot of people would be like, oh, that guy's crazy, and want to go to that.
and I was expecting it to be a little, he's working out material and stuff like, so I was expecting, and he had like obviously a paper with him. You could tell he's working out. So
Yeah, he had some stuff he was working on.
but you could tell in the middle of the show, like this guy is not only loves it, but wants to do the best job possible.
Oh, he was making notes.
And
Yeah.
is
Yes.
doing this
Yeah.
for the love of
True.
stand-up.
He didn't have asset. No.
Do you think Martin Lawrence was doing this for the love of stand-up?
That's a great question because
Or do you think he would-
Ross, it did seem. Were you there? Did you go to that or?
No, I didn't.
Because like I remember like looking at him, he had the paper and he was working on stuff, and yeah, he was very serious about it. Like you could tell that his practicing he was very serious about it.
And you could tell, and that made the show better.
It did make the show better.
So was Martin doing this for money?
Let's say for the benefit of doubt that he was doing it for stand-up's sake, but maybe he's a little, being a giant movie star and super successful, he might be a little insulated from the part where you go somewhere where they let you know about the bad bad parts,
Yeah,
or where
yeah,
you need to add something.
The Elvis.
Like I said, he was cruising on what I consider just setups. So, like, why would you work any further? If that's working, write a bunch of setups and just say them and let people enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like, and he hasn't come back to that part where, like, he goes to, like, a Grumpy's on Mills and does a set for 10 people who are probably doing...
But when you're as big as Martin, even Tracy Morgan could have done this. He could have just made the audience scream and laugh just by doing the standard.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
he could have done Shucky Ducky Quack.
Just give me a couple 30 Rocks and I'm good, you know.
But he didn't do that.
No,
You could
he
tell
didn't.
he was actually trying to write comedy.
And
And
he had
that's
some
what I
stinkers,
appreciate. Yeah.
Which I appreciated too. There were some jokes in there that you could tell were not finished or
And when you're a big celebrity and you're just doing setups and just trying to make the audience laugh. Now, you accomplished the goal of entertainment, but did you accomplish the goal of doing a good job
Like
at
a
doing
10 out of 10
stand-up?
set, sure.
Yeah,
You guys want to hear a Tracy Morgan story that another comic made me swear not to tell anybody ever?
I love it when you share stuff you shouldn't.
So this guy was working the Improv the day that Tracy Morgan came in.
Yeah.
And I guess he was sent to open like the back side door to let him in, and a limo had pulled up like right to that door, and an entourage got out. And Tracy Morgan got out and like entered like the center of the entourage, like the president in like a hostile situation kind of, right? And they stood there for a while, and like inquiries were made like, when will the procession make it from the car to the door to go inside? And it was made to be known that when Tracy Morgan's jukebox arrived, his like boombox came and started playing the music that he walked to, that is when it would start to happen. And so
this is a true story too.
Couple minutes go by. You guys have heard this one already?
Yeah, well,
no, from other people, other places.
We've got.
This has got to be true.
So the boombox comes, starts to play. They walk about halfway, and like a battery falls out or something, and it stops, and the whole procession just stops and does not move until the boombox is fixed and starts to play again, and then they proceed inside.
So
that's pretty awesome.
He's doing it to troll, right? Or is he doing it because he really wants to do it?
Troll.
Is he doing it?
Gotta be troll.
You know, it's like when you put the.
It's gotta be troll.
When you put the 80 flags on your boat.
Yeah.
They're like, are you really love it that much, or are you trying to troll?
Well, it's like if I came in here dressed in my Halloween costume, right?
Yeah,
like I'm putting on.
Is this a crack on me wanting to do Ben Franklin during the history stand? I didn't do it, Dan. I asked you. Here's the only thing that makes me think no, is because the guy that told me this story was the only guy present and the only guy who saw this. And like, why would you do that for like a dude?
Personal troll.
Opening doors at the club. Like,
personal troll?
Could it be a Bill Murray type of deal where he used to just show up at people's? Remember, like this was a thing that Bill Murray used to do, where he'd show up to a random stranger's birthday party and then
just start bartending
and just be hanging
out.
And then like it wouldn't be for a lot of people, but he knew that the word would spread and become a legend, and it did work for him.
It did.
And he's known for walking by and like taking a chicken nugget off of somebody's plate and being like, they'll never believe you.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
done stuff like that.
So is it like that?
That's him. No, I think to me, Occam's razor, the simplest solution to this equation is that Tracy Morgan just likes having music when he walks from the car to the door. That seems like I play jams when I take a shower.
Yeah,
Nobody else in my house does it.
I
and
miss my shower radio. Andrea threw it away because I got moldy. Yeah, I got moldy.
Hey, the fact that I saw him covered in baby oil, screaming, "Daniel, can you help me?"
Creamy baby oil.
That kind of lends to this is who he is.
He does what he likes.
Yeah, he absolutely does what he likes.
All right, should we take a break and come back with maybe a new guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's take a break. You guys can go outside and scream for a little bit or whatever you need to do.
Yeah. We'll take a little break, and then when we come back, we might have a guest. We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
We decided against the guest. Because Ross is better than all the other guests.
Oh, you know what? I like that. I agree with that.
So we're just going to talk to Ross.
Wait a minute. You don't believe that. That's just something you said.
I went out there. The only guy out there was Skippy, and he was afraid to come in.
Oh, yeah.
No one even knows who Skippy is because we still haven't even played it.
Yeah,
he came in a different time real quick.
Yeah, he did.
He came in real quick for 1 second.
Skippy is Tom's intern.
Yeah. But I'm saying that segment never got played.
But then he came in for 1 second,
Oh,
like
yeah,
another
yeah.
time.
Remember
and
Ross?
it was
God
like,
He did. He popped in for like a quick second, and but right now, because we are plumb out of energy, we're just gonna do voicemails. And if you would like to leave us a voicemail message, you can do so using our free app or 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's the number to call, and you can leave us one. Now, I thought this was a great voicemail. I think this is a terrific one, and I think that this is something that we could do for 2025. Perfect voicemail.
I hope the guy curses.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I was wondering what you guys know about, like, pirate radio stations, or, like, if you guys wanted to start your own radio station and just do nothing by the book, like, no, to skip all the insane obstacles that makes it unreachable for the average person, how would you do it? Like, if you wanted to do it from home and just say, like, hey, put on 89.3 AM and you'll hear me on there, is there a way to actually do that, or is there just no way to get that going? Because I've always wanted to do it, and I keep Googling it, and I just cannot figure out the end on how to do it myself.
You can definitely do it.
Is he talking about Real Radio 104.1 HD3 The Pirate? Is that kind of pirate radio?
I mean, similar, but no, he's actually talking of like the movie Pump Up the Volume, or so, like we could.
What was the one in Britain where it was on a boat? They did a movie about that one too.
Yeah.
That had the guy from Boogie Nights in it.
Ghost Ship or Ghost Radio, something like that.
Yeah.
Pirate
Radio or something.
We talked about this on a Friday Free Show, and I started doing research into if pirate radio stations still exist.
We used to have one in
and
Apopka.
And they do, and and nowadays,
It's not that hard to transmit in the FM frequency.
It isn't, and nowadays, especially in cities, and that's where they're the most popular in, especially cities with, like let's say ethnic populations, like that's real big, and like basically you're doing like pirate radio to Little Havana in Miami or whatever, like
Hasidic Jews or Cuban population
or Haitian. If there's like
Middle Eastern or if
there's a borough in New York that has a huge population of
boroughs are rabbits.
A particular country.
They can't use the radio, Tom.
Then they'll broadcast to that, and then
so like a big local grouping of a certain group of people that you can reach with that FM.
We should start one. We should try to start one.
So
just to see if we can get it shut down.
First, what's odd to me is, and then why it's that way, because you could broadcast what we're doing right now on the internet, and you could do it very easily with your cell phone, and it could reach every cell phone in the world. So there's an easier way to distribute your message. That's why they do it in like particular small clusters.
This may be more effective though.
Dense.
This may be more effective because it's more unique. Right? Like, I mean, I know we say that,
and hyper local.
Yeah, you say, hey, everybody's got the whole entire internet in their phone. Well, that doesn't work because no one's ever going to find you that way. You need to be unique. So you almost have to take a step back. It's almost like you would get more attention by using the pirate radio station than you ever would because it sets you apart.
Well, who's surfing radio stations to see what pops up? Like, I don't think that exists.
But it's not about having somebody. It's all it is about. Oh, there's a pirate. Did you hear about the pirate radio station? It has nothing to do with random surfing.
Well, would you promote it on social media? Like you promote your pirate radio station on the internet?
No, you'd want word of mouth.
I like that Tom's still questioning who listens to radio while we're on the radio.
Well, but
some people have radios.
There
that's
are ways
all they have,
to do
and
it.
They listen.
There are ways to do it. It would be word of mouth. I'm just saying there would be more value in that because, like, putting
it's more rare.
Yeah, but exactly, and putting it on social media I don't think is going to help you that much because that's not the message you want to portray. Like saying like, hey, check out my pirate radio station doesn't sound very dangerous. You want it to be like. You want it to be there, and you want people to discover it.
Yeah.
So there almost has to be a psychology about how they find it.
And then people tape it to like little cassette tapes and pass it around. That's how. Yeah.
I mean, cassette tapes are back. Yeah. I'm just saying, it's different.
I also found out that, like Ross said, you just need an antenna, like a ham radio antenna, and you can basically broadcast in depending on how much power you have,
how far it'll go.
How far it'll go, and if it's a clear day, sometimes it can go further. Like it's weird with radio waves. But also, I also found out while doing this research that like FCC fines, they're like credit card companies suing you that it's like you paying it is basically dependent on them collecting the judgment.
Oh, they got no teeth?
Yeah. So there's like they fine you $100,000 for having a pirate radio. Apparently, these pirate radio stations get fined all the time, and they just never pay it, and there's no recourse.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Then the FCC
exactly.
has.
I mean, all they'll do is shut it down and fine you, and then you just don't pay the fine.
It's like medical bills.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then they
pretty much.
they can sue you, but then they won't do that because it takes too much money.
Yeah.
And so there's
It's not
really
like they'll be like garnishing your wages or something because of it.
Yeah, so the fines are basically meaningless for the most part. Like it's not something that they can hold you accountable or garnish your wages.
Yeah, I remember
like,
when we
it's
read
like child
that,
support.
and we're like, well, then why the hell are they there? Just ceremonial? Like, why do you even have that?
Yeah.
just to scare people.
Yeah.
And they have it for big business and big radio because
Right. Well, that you can collect because they'll cut the check.
yes,
Right.
yeah,
they
yeah,
got to
yeah.
stay in business.
But for the guy that's broadcasting out of his apartment in New York,
he doesn't care to begin with.
it doesn't matter.
Correct.
So, but they still exist, and it's easy to do. But they're also easy to find if they want to find where you're broadcasting from, because the equipment to find someone that's like transmitting is way better. So, like, if they could just drive with a car and then find like, oh, it's coming out of this apartment.
I remember like something. You're triggering a memory of mine from a video game that I played when I was younger. I would have been a kid. And it was something where like the Nazis or the Russians would pull up out front and they would have a van and they're trying to find
Triangulating.
they're trying to find your like freedom fighting radio network or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if like anybody else knows what I'm talking about, but they'd park out front and like kind of because they're trying to triangulate where that pirate radio station is. And it was a video game I played as a young man. But I don't know what it was. But yeah, that I loved all of that. That like pump up the volume 1980s pirate radio station, us versus the Russians. All like that's awesome.
You know what would be awesome if we started doing pirate radio at the same time that our radio show plays to compete against ourselves.
Yeah.
And so Jack's like, "Why are you doing this?"
We can do that. We can do that.
And
we had an idea to do that at one point.
and
You want to tell them your idea?
And,
Can you talk about that idea?
well, hold on, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
There's another station that was interested.
Oh.
And at one point in time, we thought it would be funny to broadcast the exact same thing.
On another station.
On the exact same, like on a competing station at the exact same time.
Yeah,
Because to me, I'm like, well, let's just dominate all the airways. We'll be the only thing you can listen to.
Well, you could do AM, FM. A lot of places do that.
Yeah, they do simulcast.
My argument that when Jack said, "No, we can't do this," I was like, "Well, we're not competing against like
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna go to another station to listen to the same show.
All we're doing is getting the people that weren't listening to us, which I think is brilliant. It's one of your better ideas. I honestly.
That actually, I don't have an
Right?
argument for that.
Thank you. I thought it was a goddamn
I
good
don't
Tom
have an
idea.
argument for
I
that.
thought it was a GD. I'm trying to cut down on that. It's
Yeah.
a good Tom argument, but everyone we told it to, it was like, you can't do that. I'm like, well, why? Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
It's double the commercial time, too, because we can sell commercials on the other channel.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what he needs is inventory. So how is that a bad Tom idea? All right. I'm listening. Changed my mind.
Anyway, so I wonder if you if we did do a pirate radio station. Now, like the quickest way for
We have the guy to do it. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
We have the people that know how to do this.
Oh, yeah.
We have the ham operators. We have the internet people.
I think Tony has done it before.
Like with ham
You are
radio.
correct.
I
You are absolutely
I'm pretty
correct. And I don't want
sure-
him getting mad at us for not mentioning
I
that.
think Tony
He's
has
right.
done this before.
Tony did have a ham radio station. Like he had an illegal radio station.
Yeah,
You're right.
He had a pirate setup.
He did.
So then I think you pick a signal that is not active, right? Like
Well, you try not to like
you're not recording over.
That
someone.
makes it easier.
you want to find something, right? Like you want to slide in the shadows. So you find something in your local area that doesn't have a lot of feedback or a lot of what do you call that? It's not stepped on a lot, you know?
You don't want to
Wide open.
for example, 104.1 has a lot of power behind it. So if you try to broadcast on 104.1 with your little rinky dink, you're fighting that. So you're not only like using to broadcast, but you're fighting a broadcast signal that exists. So you want to find one where there's nothing, like 88.5 or something.
And there's tons of them,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
So then if we did start broadcast, like how. I think we could do it for a long time before
And now-
anybody would shut us
It
down.
would be our listeners ratting us out. It wouldn't be us. It'd be somebody being like, I want to ruin it.
Yeah, but even if they did that, where are they going to go to the FCC? And the FCC is going to be like, I'm too busy. We're like, I'm not going to.
They'll put it in queue, and it would probably take 2 to 3 years for them to ever determine that we're doing it. And by that time, we've probably lost interest, like we air T&D.
Yeah.
Or, like 5 days from now or so, Trump gets sworn in, and he just gets rid of all that stuff. FCC's
We have a new
gone.
guy.
I don't think anybody cares.
He did pick a new guy.
Yeah.
He picked a new FCC guy.
Like, trying to take over a dead radio signal that no one even uses. Who would care about that?
Tom, what if you do now? You've scaled down. You guys right now are broadcasting on radio and to the world online. You're trying to scale down to just a pirate radio station. What if we scale you down to a Mr. Microphone? It's the same thing, but handheld.
You stand on the corner and just scream to whoever's
well, you're
listening.
just a crazy person.
Well, that's what we want to be.
No, Mr. Microphone is a toy, and all it does is take over nearby radios on a certain frequency.
Yeah,
so
it
you have a microphone, and you, for example, you take Tracy Morgan's boombox, set it to FM, probably 88.5.
It's a personal radio station, is what you're doing.
They usually go to the very low end of those, and you just talk into a boombox. You're super focused, dude.
I like the idea of talking into one person's specific boombox, like one listener. We go over to his house with okay, hold on, with 2 boomboxes. I'm 88.3, you're 88.5.
Oh yeah,
and we put our boomboxes side by side, and
like a Flaming Lips album.
Personal podcast, straight to you, never
through 2
recorded.
radio signals.
Through 2 radio signals. It's the least efficient thing you can do.
No
recording of it.
Awesome.
No recording of it ever.
Yeah.
When it comes out of the speakers, it's lost forever.
Okay, 2 cans with strings attached.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you put it up to your ears.
Let's do another one. This is from Cadillac Pat. I like to hear from our resident crazy people.
Yo, Tom and Dan, it's your boy Cadillac Pat. I forget your stance. What's your stance on batteries? Isn't there like a little a way to grade? Energizers have like a 30 lumen, and if you buy the Amazon batteries, they're cheaper. What do you guys do for batteries? I'm a guy that buys the good batteries because they do last longer. My buddy was telling me, no, just buy the cheap ones. They're the same exact thing.
No.
I'm like, no way. Energizer, Duracell, they're way better. What's your stands on the AA and AAA battery? I forget. There's a way to tell the amount of power it has. Anyways, love you guys. Bye.
I do not buy cheap batteries because of the amount of stuff that I've used in here that, the mini recording equipment that I use, when you use cheap batteries, they explode. They last for 2 days. I don't do it. I just buy either Energizers or what's the copper top one? Duracell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Amazon batteries, right? That's what are those considered
the worst?
Because there's Temu batteries.
The chat room is. Melissa in the chat room, they're all going I love Amazon batteries.
No.
I'm with Ross on this.
I've had them come uncharged before. I've had dead Amazon batteries come before. They're the worst.
So
come with no charge. Yes, I've had that too. Yeah.
Now, is there any chance this is like a sunglass business where all the batteries are made in the same area and they're just wrapped with different
Luxottica or whatever it is? Yeah.
I don't think so because Duracell and Energizer clearly are better. I just go Costco because price-wise, you could use 3 Costco batteries for the price of any Duracell battery.
We looked it up one time, and there was an actual difference in the battery. It was Rayovac batteries are this type of battery, and Duracell batteries are this type of battery. And it was what you're paying for is a slightly elevated version of a regular battery.
And I can assure you, whereas a Energizer or Duracell will last, for example, my kid's Xbox controller lasts a week. Back when we were on dollar store batteries, you're lucky if you get a day out of those. Classic poor stuff. You're buying more of them because you're trying to be cheap and poor.
Now, I don't know if we ever did this voicemail. I think we were going to do the voicemail. Maybe we eventually did at some point. But somebody called in, I want to say 6 months ago, and said that when they were a kid, their mom and dad would keep their batteries in the freezer. Did we talk about that? And there is something to that where
some science.
Yeah, if you had a battery, for what Ross is saying, let's say your kid's playing Castlevania. I know it's a dated reference, but you want to beat that level, right? And right as you're going to beat the level, the batteries in your Xbox controller go dead. Supposedly there is a play where if you are a cool dad, you can take those batteries out, you wrap them in something to you got to keep them dry. So you wrap them in a piece of paper or something, and you put them in the back of the freezer, and you let them sit there for an hour. If you take those batteries out and put them back in the controller, your kid can finish the level because it's going to make the battery work again somehow.
So the cold
I don't know.
basically allows you to use the last bit of energy inside.
Or it stabilizes it, or in some way, like chills it out to a point where you're able to like. I don't know. I have no idea.
That was a scientific try at it. Let me try magic. I think it freezes the energy fairies, so they have to stay inside the battery and they can't fly away.
Do you think that like a big battery has the capability to make like a AA that will last like 10 times longer than what we know of a AA? Like they could make it last insanely long, but they don't because they need to sell more batteries. It's bad for business for batteries to last long.
Will you guys start calling me Big Battery?
I mean, if you want to, I'll call you anything you want.
Because
you're my friend, so I mean, I want to respect you.
Because
yeah, if they cared at all, they just make them all those rechargeable batteries that are just a huge pain in the butt. That's all there would be if Big Battery cared.
Because it's okay. So technology. Okay, let's analyze this. Technology always gets better, right? And products always get better for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. You're trying to refine it.
You
sure.
know, so things in the '90s like should be better now with across the board, right? So, but if you told me like, did a '90s AA battery, how much longer does a 2024 AA battery last than '90s? I would be like, I think it's the same.
It's comparable to me, but are you adding in the technology now? Is the technology now drawing more power, or is it more efficient?
Right.
Well, I'm saying that it's weird that the product of a AA battery hasn't drastically gotten better in our life in 25 years.
You can't change the shape because of standardization. That's too hard, right? So once you have standard shapes, like it's almost like they're almost lucky that they did that, right? Aren't we all lucky as a society that Big Battery decided that triple, double, all the because look at our phone chargers.
Big phone charger did. Yeah,
they
I'm with
can't
you.
do it. So we should all hug Big Battery and say like, thank you for doing it. But the idea of them changing the shape of it is giving me anxiety.
Well,
because it would like I'd be like all the rechargeable batteries I have, all the equipment that I have, all of our recorders are broken now.
Man.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like how much gear would I lose if they changed the shape of a AA battery?
Well,
you're freaking me
you
out.
have to buy
dude.
100 adapters.
You're freaking me out.
You couldn't change the shape, but I'm saying, could you change how much energy it holds? It seems like over 25 years, you should be able to.
You can, but only so much before you gotta change the shape.
Okay.
But are you taking into account what Dan's saying at all? Whereas in 1995, I was putting 2 AA's into a weasel ball, and it was just rolling around.
Spencer's.
It was just rolling.
Hey, if anybody wants to buy me a weasel ball for Christmas, they're awesome.
So in 1995, I'm putting 2 batteries in a weasel ball to roll around on my floor.
Yeah.
But now in 2024, I'm putting 2 AA's into an Xbox controller that's Bluetooth wireless and is like working at the speed of light, so that I can murk these guys in Fortnite or whatever. You know, like it has the battery improved.
I'm using an Elite, which has double rumble packs. It's got double controllers on the bottom of it. I mean, like, so I don't know. I would be willing to bet that controller would suck the batteries crazy, man.
Have you seen the claw?
No,
I want the claw so bad.
All right, I'll look it up.
So, but that's a weird thing to me, is that I never heard, and to me, it's not a thing to be like, oh, these batteries are so much better than the AA's I had in my day. Like, no one ever really says that, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I don't, like, remember when I was a kid in the 90s, like, saying, oh, these AA's always suck, and now I'm like, they work so much better. I was like, it's about the same. I know that
we need a 2024 battery, and we need a 1995 weasel ball, and we'll figure this right out.
I bet you we can get to the bottom of this, but yeah, we got to get out of here.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.